Okay, welcome to the video. We're going to talk about the new Schwalbe Radial Tyre. It's the first ever radial mountain bike tyre. And what I've done is some, let's say, scientific testing against the clock. There are a lot of different opinions on if the Schwalbes are good, not good, but I just wanted to do it against the clock. So how I did the testing, I've been using Maxxis for the past 3-4 years, and I use a DHF up the front and an Aggressor on the back. 20 psi in the front, 24 in the back with cush core. Now when I went to the Schwalbe Radials, they are designed not to use an insert and typically a little bit higher pressures. So I'm running them 24 in the front, 28 in the back. So I've gone up 4 psi back and front. How we've tested it is basically against the clock. I'm using Strava, but for those of you who question that because they can jump a few seconds here or there, I've also backed that up with my GoPro to make sure that the Strava times are correct. So let's get into it. In October last year, we travelled down to Derby in Tasmania, and that's where I did the testing. For the first 2 weeks, I ran the Maxxis, normal stuff, did a whole heap of different trails, a couple of different locations, and recorded times in GoPro. Then I fitted the Schwalbe tyres. The Schwalbe tyres, they recommend that you ride them 1 or 2 rides for the carcass to stretch and get to its operating state. So I rode it for a couple of days and then started to do some timed runs. The day I did the testing on the Schwalbe tyres, I did 2 trails at Derby. I come down Hazy Days, which I had already had the com on, so it was 6 minutes 12. And also there's a track around the lake. It's very skittish and gravelly, and I thought it might be interesting doing it on that as well. My run down Hazy Days was a nice clean run. To be honest, I thought I may have gained a second or 2, maybe. It was just a nice, clean, fast run. When I actually had a look at the clock, I had beaten that original com by 17 seconds. So a 17 seconds difference. That is a huge amount of time for the same person on the same bike to gain over 6 minutes. In simple terms, the Schwalbe Radial Tyre maximises contact patch. Better grip, more contact patch. And because the radial construction, completely different to a cross-ply, it's more compliant, more soft, it conforms better to each and every little object. It also reacts much quicker, therefore you don't get the bounce. The tyre stays on the ground with the radial carcass design. Again, you're maximising your contact patch. These tyres, they soak up any of the small bumps, they soak up the unevenness in the ground, they feel more comfortable, they feel safer. And they conform very quickly to each little rock and bump and jump. They don't bounce. So they're compliant, they feel like a little bit like a lower pressure tyre. So at the same pressure, there is a 30% increase on the contact patch compared to a cross-ply. What I'm running is the Schwalbe Albert Radial Pro, the soft version 2.6. What you're seeing here is a comparison test between my fastest time on the Maxxis cross-ply and my fastest time on the Schwalbe Radial. It starts at the 1 minute mark going down Hazy Days. It's just a 40-second segment. You can see just over the 40 seconds a 3-second gain. The other interesting fact is the time is gained continually. It's not just on one corner or one little section, it's everywhere. Every corner, every straight, every rock slap, every jump. So the numbers don't lie. And that sort of time gap, to me, was firstly stunning. I did not expect it. And secondly, it confirms these tyres are revolutionary. They really are different. They're quieter and they're safer. I couldn't really pick up the difference in grip, bar the fact that it just felt good on the bike. And at the end, the numbers tell the story.